Hi, my name is Julie with Allstage Canine Development. I just wanted to talk to you today about one of my favorite products of the week. This is a Kong. Kongs are a toy that are multi-use. They're my favorite because you can use them for crate training, you can use them for potty training, entertainment, getting through teething. There's multiple sizes of Kongs that you can get. The size of Kong really depends on the size of dog that you have and the age of your dog. It's best to go on the website to determine what size and texture of Kong that is required for your dog. There's some puppy Kongs, which are a little bit soft. Those are not really appropriate for adult teeth. So once we get those adult teeth about 5.5 months, we're gonna get rid of the pink and blue ones and we're gonna go to our more appropriate colors, which are the black, which are more durable, or red, which are more regular. Depending on your dog, will depend on the size of Kong and the texture that you get for your dog. I use the Kongs for crate training to get through teething when the dogs are puppies. It's excellent to help with the dogs when they're being entertained in their crates so they don't get the separation anxiety. I like their mouths to be busy as much as possible. So I use their calorie intake to entertain them. So dog food would probably be the most common thing that I stuff in their Kongs, but there's a little bit of a process to that. Now we do want to make sure that our dog's tongue can fit inside the Kong. If they have to roll their tongue, it's kind of hard to get in there if we have a bigger dog, so we have to go a little bit bigger with our Kongs. So as far as what we're going to use to stuff our Kongs, I always think low calorie. So the first thing I do with my adult dogs is either cottage cheese, which is low fat, it's a little bit easier to work with, it's not so milky, or my 100% pure pumpkin. I also use peanut butter, organic of course, and salt-free. That's more with my puppies or my younger dogs, thinner dogs. I always worry about weight gain with my older dogs. So typically what I do is I take a Ziploc bag and I put some dry dog food in there and I soak it with water. Swells up pretty good. Want to absorb as much as that water as possible because this is how I'm going to use my calorie intake for my dogs that day. I may not even do a bowl of food that day. I might do a handful of food and a couple frozen Kongs that day. Help with the heat, help for entertainment, separation anxiety, all kinds of good stuff. So after I after I fill up my bag, get some water in there, I want to drain out that water and put in either my pumpkin or my cottage cheese. And I'll squish it together in that bag. Then I cut the corner off and that's how I pipe it into my Kongs. Another thing I like to use for low calorie for my dogs is to just take some plain popcorn, not our microwavable popcorn, just our plain unsalted, no butter popcorn, give it a pop, and mix it with a little bit of peanut butter. I typically only use a teaspoon to a tablespoon, not very much. And I'll mix that all up in a bowl, just lightly coat my popcorn, and that's a great thing, a great low calorie treat to stuff in to my Kongs. Now, once I get my Kongs stuffed, I typically, when I first begin working with the dog, I like to give them just the Kongs without being frozen. But something I do to buy myself more time is I start freezing my Kongs. So with my young dogs and my puppies, I just give them a couple of regular Kongs to clean out, build confidence, build understanding of how I want them to use a Kong. And as they get older and they learn more, we can start actually putting those Kongs in Ziploc bags and putting them in the freezer to buy us more time, more entertainment for the dog, and to cool them off in the summertime. So this is an example of what my kibble would look like after I would soak it in water for a while. It's gonna swell a little bit, and that's what I want. Buy me a little bit more time. This is how we stuff our Kongs. Take some cottage cheese, couple tablespoons in there. This is gonna look a little gross, but the dogs are gonna love it. A little bit of a mess, but not really because it's all in the bag. And this is something that I like to do, especially for my rescues, because this is how I can teach them that their crates are a wonderful place to be, that I can use this to entertain the dogs in so many ways. And after I get all my food in there, and I can stuff many Kongs with something like this, and I typically put it in a Ziploc bag or some kind of a plastic container, and then I'll pop it in my freezer. So that's something that I can use throughout the day to entertain my dog. And I also use these things so much, I wash them in my dishwasher on the top shelf, and they clean beautifully. Again, this is Julie with All Stage Canine Development, and I want to thank you for watching my demo on my favorite toy to use with the dogs, which is a Kong, and stay tuned for more videos.